Hello ladies, how are you guys doing? If you are going through IVF or have in the past, you have probably asked the question that haunts so many of us. Why did not the embryo stick? It's heartbreaking. You do everything right, the medications, the injection, the procedures. You see that beautiful little embryo on the screen and then nothing. No positive test, no explanation. I have been there and I know how crushing it feels. So, today I want to talk you through why this can happen, what science tells us, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it. Making an embryo, let's start at the beginning how embryos are even made in the IVF. We retrieve the eggs, fertilize them with sperm in the lab, and hope they grow into healthy embryos. Seems simple enough, right? But here is the thing, not every fertilized egg becomes a good quality embryo. In fact, many don't even make it to a day 5 when they are typically ready for transfer. Why? Let's talk about that. How can you tell if an embryo is abnormal? From the outside, embryos are graded based on how they look, how many cells they have, how fast they are dividing, and how smooth they appear. But looks can be deceiving. Even a perfect looking embryo can be genetically abnormal, and some that don't look good, they can still lead to a healthy baby. That's why embryo grading is helpful, but not the whole story. Embryos that don't divide. Some embryos just stop dividing after fertilization. They stall early, maybe day 2 or 3, and never make it to blastocyst stage. This is often because of poor equality, sperm issues, or genetical abnormalities. It does not mean you did anything wrong. When that happened to me, I felt like a failure. But the truth is, biology is imperfect. A lot has to go just right for an embryo to grow. Then there are embryos that divide, but just too slowly. Timing matters in development. Embryos that lag behind often have chromosomal issues or cellular stress. The lab might still let them grow, but success rate tends to be lower with slow developers. It's kind of like baking. If the cake is not rising on schedule, something probably off in the mix. You might also hear about fragmentation. This is when pieces of the embryo break off during cell division. Some fragmentation is okay, but too much can interfere with communication between cells, making implantation harder. Again, this usually ties back to equality, though lab condition and genetics can also play a role. It can feel defeating to hear your embryo is fragmented. I remember getting that call, but it's not a death sentence. Some fragmented embryos do lead to pregnancies too. So what causes these issues? A lot of it comes down to egg and sperm quality, genetic issues, and even random chances. Sometimes this embryo looks fine under a microscope, but deep down something is off, and we just cannot see it. They have chromosomal issues. Here's where genetics comes in. Many embryos that fail to implant or lead to miscarriage have the wrong number of chromosomes. That's called aneuploidy. It's incredibly common, especially as we age. After 35, the risk goes up. After 40, it spikes. There can also be structural chromosomal issue, where the right number is there, but parts are rearranged. These issues often comes from egg, sometimes from the sperm, or both. This is why many clinics now recommend genetic testing (PGTA) for embryos, especially after failed transfer or for older patients. It can help identify which embryos are more likely to succeed. So what can you do about it? Now for the bigger question. Can you actually do anything to improve the odds that your embryo will stick? Yes and no. Let me explain. Equality is the key, but it's hard to change it dramatically. That said, things like improving sleep, reducing stress, avoiding smoking and alcohol, and taking supplements like I took CoQ10, vitamin D, and prenatal vitamins that may help improve egg health over time. It's not magic, but supporting your body matters. I made lifestyle change during my second round, and while it did not guarantee success, I felt more in control. Sperm quality, and let's not forget about the sperm. People often overlook that, but 40 to 50% of IVF issues are male factor related. Improving diet, exercise, avoiding heat like saunas, and limiting alcohol can make a real difference in sperm quality. In some cases, clinics can even use advanced sperm selection techniques to pick the healthiest one. It's worth asking about it. Finally, your IVF lab matters. Not all labs are created equal. Ask about their success rates, how they culture embryos, what equipment they use. A good lab environment helps embryos grow in the most stable, supportive way possible. And don't be afraid to change clinics if something does not feel right. You deserve the best care. So if your embryo did not stick, please hear this. It's not your fault. It's biology. It's complex and often it's completely out of your hands. But by understanding the science, asking the right questions, and taking small intentional steps, you can increase your chances. You are not broken, you are not alone, and this journey, while so incredibly hard, is still full of hope. I am rooting for you. Thank you. I hope you guys will take care of you.